So today I went on my first test run with this thing. I took it to class today. That's about like a 25-minute drive there and then 25 back. And a few things. Car did good, but right off the bat, the blower motor is trashed. It works, but only on speed 4, which I'm guessing is the resistor, and it makes a lot of noise. So blower motor is definitely going out, probably a fire waiting to happen. Luckily I got myself a spare here from another car. I think it's a rather new one, a Siemens one. So we're doing a blower motor on this car. And then second thing was it has a pretty fair amount of vibration coming from the back. It feels like it's the back left, that tire right there. Looking out the window, it looks a little wobbly, and it doesn't shake like the front wheels are out of alignment or like there's a control arm bad. It shakes like the wheels out of balance. Looking at these wheels, I see weights on the front. I do not see weights on that one. So I'm thinking those back 2 tires might not be balanced. So to quickly troubleshoot that, I'm gonna throw on some spares I got laying around and see if that fixes it. If it doesn't fix it, then I might have to look into some other things. But I'm not sure what in the rear end could really give you much of a vibration. I've never had an E34 that vibrated in the rear. I've had fronts with the control arms bad or a bad balance, but I'm praying and I'm hoping it's just a balance, but I think it is. So I'm gonna test that out. If it is, I'm gonna drop those off at Just Tires or Discount Tire tomorrow and get those balanced. Aside from that, like I said, I just gotta do the other window. The radio works, this window works. And the car gets wet inside when it rains, the floor, so I gotta clear out the drain right here. And then this thing should be all set. So we're gonna start off the day with the blower motor. If you're not familiar on these cars, you gotta, it's kind of a pain, but it's also not horrible, I don't think. You gotta pull off the harness box that's mounted onto the firewall, and then there is 4 8mm or maybe 6mm screws on it. You gotta take out, and then you pull off this backing, and then it's all in there. And when I get there, I will show you guys what's good. So oddly enough, every E34 I've ever bought only had the top 2 in. The bottom 2 were missing, or they just rust through. I'm not really sure. There might actually be 3. I think that might be a hole for another one. This thing's pretty beat up, but yeah, I just had to do the top 2. You can see that's where the bottom ones are. This one's not bad to get to. That one is a pain in the ass because the heater core stuff, or the heater valve. I gotta pull this off. I'm kind of scared what's gonna be underneath here. But you pull out this cheap plastic, and then you got this, and you have 2 metal tabs, one there and one there, and then you got that plastic one, which is sometimes a pain to get off and then relatch. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out and see what this blower looks like. Based on how dirty this cowl is, like underneath there, I'm guessing that's my culprit for the leak. So I gotta clean all that out, and I'm also guessing this blower motor is not gonna look good. I'll probably pull out the cabin air filter as well and see how that looks. All right, so we got it out. You can probably see in the time lapse, I was struggling a little bit. It's pretty hard to get it out of this space, but you kind of just gotta flex them. So if you kind of look at this, you see like the reddish hue on the inner circles, meaning right here and right here. That is usually telltale bearing failure. Don't know why, don't know how, but I heard someone say that once. So now I know if I pull these things out and they got different colors, the bearings failed. Here, I'm gonna set it up for you guys, and so you guys can watch me spin it and see how much it spins. So you do it and it stops almost right away, and you can kind of hear a squeak out of it. So there's that one, and here's the replacement. So you can see this one spins longer, no squeak. This one actually has different connections. This one has wires on it, whereas this one, the wires went right onto the motor. So connectors are still the same, one male, one female. So we're gonna throw this thing in there and hopefully get this back in how it's supposed to go, because it fell out. And yeah, I know the installation's a lot more difficult than the taking it out. So fingers crossed this doesn't go too bad. So one other thing I kind of forgot to check here is sometimes these cages get kind of offset and they will hit the sides there or the inside. So you kind of got to adjust them. They're really a pain to adjust, and I adjusted mine, but now my thing kind of shakes here, which I don't think is not too out of the ordinary. But I'm trying to line these up so that they're kind of, you can see they're not centered here. And since it's a different style motor, it's kind of difficult to tell. So I got this one set a little longer, so I'm gonna have to shorten it, put one of these in. So I'll see. I think this is the one that has to go in, but I messed with it and now it's a matter of trial and error. It's actually easier to push the harness down. I was being dumb trying to get it, pull it up, but if you shove it down, you can actually get the motor in very easy. And I also took off the injector cover because that adds a nice raised part here that makes it difficult. After a lot of playing around with the metal strap, I got it in and situated, and that thing sounds good to me, no noises. I'm kind of kicking myself because I was looking and I noticed that the plastic kind of shielding was a little frayed, like it hit it at one point, and I'm starting to wonder if the noise I was hearing was just the blower hitting the frayed plastic. Whatever, that one doesn't look too good anyway. Sounds good, it's nice and stable. The metal hook on that thing was a real pain in the ass to get. I had to kind of flatten it to get it to be long enough. So it's not quite as snug as I think you'd want it, but it's holding it in place. So can't complain there. And now I'm gonna see if the resistor is still an issue or if that was just the blower. We'll go on speed 3, and on speed 3 before it would shut off. So let's see if it stays on. Already it's staying on longer than it did, so I'm thinking it was completely the blower. I don't think we got any issues here. I think I'm ready to put the covers back on and set everything back up and move on to the next thing, which will be throw these wheels on. Successful blower motor replacement. Like I said, take your harness and move it down, and you can literally just pull it in and out nearly straight. Makes it 20 times easier. All put back together. I left the cowls out because I gotta check what's why the car is leaking inside, but all that's good. The blower motor cover itself, the strap was a pain in the ass. I ended up using a zip tie, and then I accidentally left out the last plastic sheet, so I had to take everything back out and put it back together. So don't forget things, and just know that the job's kind of a pain in the ass, but not too bad. So that's all done. Car's got a good sounding, good working blower motor. And now I'm gonna swap out the rear wheels. That's not really interesting, so I'm not even gonna bother filming that, but I'll see you guys when I take this thing for a test drive and see what changed, if anything changes. So what was putting on a spare set of tires on this thing turned into the Calypso going on jack stands. So basically, like I said, I was gonna throw on some aftermarket rears, not even aftermarket, but these are E36 stocks. Turns out the offset's way too high. It was hitting the shock, so I couldn't use them. I didn't have anything else laying around, so I decided to just use the rears off the Calypso because I know that they handle good. So I put those on, went for a ride. Nothing changed. The car still wobbled just as bad. So I felt a little defeated, but I decided, you know what, I better check the fronts just to make sure. Maybe the fronts are off balance. And I did find a screw sticking out of the front tire, the front left. And if you actually look at it from this angle, I don't know if you can see on camera, it's actually quite raised. It's not, you know, sunken into the threads, and it's not flush. It is noticeably in the way, like, of the tire and the travel. So you can see the tire almost tipped over when it hit it. So I'm kind of thinking that could be the issue. I don't know how big of a, deal a little screw like that could make, but I'd imagine at higher speeds, I'm sure you could probably feel anything. So fingers crossed, we're gonna go on another ride and see if that happens to be it. I really hope it is, so then I could just go get that patched, probably get all 4 rebalanced, and slap them back on, and then I think we should be good. But first, to see if that's the issue. So the car does actually drive better. I just got back, and the vibration is for the most part gone, but that's not to say the car doesn't still have a little bit of vibration. It feels way better. I do think that nail is playing a big part in it, but the car is just still not 100%. I mean, that comes down to it's a 26-year-old car with probably a lot of worn suspension stuff. So I'm not going to complain. It's as good as I'm going to get it. I'm not going to go through an entire overhaul on this car. It's just not worth it. I've already put way more time into this car than I want to. So it's going to be, it's going to be what it is. But it is noticeably better. So tomorrow I'm going to go to Discount Tire, get that nail plugged, and then have them rebalance all the tires just to make sure they're good. And then we are calling it. That is going to be it for the daily E34. That's as much love as it's going to get. Got a lot of stuff working. Heat's great now. The blower works perfect. The wiper blade, or the wiper fluid was empty. Filled that up. Got all the lights working. It had a turn signal out. Got it driving good. Got it running good. I am so tired today. This week is when all the leaves have been falling. So I've been going to class, coming home, picking up leaves till the sun sets, and then pulling in that car and working on that car. It's been pretty exhausting, so glad it's finally getting there. I'm done with it. I still am mad at myself I put that much work into what is going to end up being a parts car, but it is what it is. Whatever. Now I have a nice fun winter beater. So thank you guys for watching the series. I hope you enjoyed. If anything else comes up with that car, obviously I'll let you guys know. But until then, that's about all I got planned for it. I will see you in the next one. I wasn't going to include anything on this, but the floor kept getting very wet on this car. It was getting soaked after it would rain, so I figured a sunroof drain issue. So I finally got around to taking the hose and putting it in the sunroof drain, and the water actually just dripped straight right from here, and it would just seep down onto the carpet from back behind the dash. And surely enough, I pulled the headliner out right here, and you can see that's the sunroof drain, and it's not even hooked up to the thing. I don't know how that happens, but it's completely disconnected. So all the water was literally just seeping right into the headliner, which is all gross now, and then down the pillar into the floor. So I'm gonna put that back on with a new hose clamp, and then we're gonna have a dry interior. So that's huge plus there. Dealing with a wet interior is not fun.